So I wanted to do a video on setting up a new course, and this will be for instructors. And so the first thing you will want to do is that you will want to make sure that you have an instructor's account with Cengage. And so you'll want to go to, you can always go to Cengage, give them a call. They are very, very helpful, but you can create an account and then make sure that it is linked to the seminary's account and make sure that it is an instructor account. So it's actually pretty easy to do. So hopefully you've got that already done. So the first thing you want to do is get logged into your instructor account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now once you have gone into Cengage, you want to actually log into WebAssign. I'm going to place that link to WebAssign into this document. And so you want to just follow that link and get logged in. And when you get logged into WebAssign, it should open up into a window that looks like this. And so once you get in, this will be your first open window. And then from this window, this is where we're going to create your class. So here is where you will look and you can see any of your current classes, which right now it's showing I don't have any current classes, but this is all of the different options that you can see for right now. What I want to do now is I want to walk you through setting up a new class. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go right here to classes and we want to create class. When you click on this, you're going to have a couple of different options. You have the create a new course with no assignments, or you can copy assignments and settings from an existing course. And so you see here you have, on my screen, I have several different options from previous courses. Now, if you don't see these options, then you need to call WebAssign and you need to make sure that your course, your account has been linked to these previous courses, because you're going to want to be able to select one of these previous courses. It will save you just tons and tons of work. So if I were you, if you were teaching a summer course, I would choose this Summer 1 2023 course. If you're choosing a fall or spring course, I would choose this Spring 2024 course, and they are going to line up pretty evenly. So those are going to be, both of those were lined up with Canvas, and they should line up really well with the assignments. So, so those are going to both be the ones that I would choose from. So I am going to make assignments for this particular example from the summer 2023. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one. Now you want to go ahead and fill in all of this information. So we're going to, the course number is LCGE 1372, course title, Contemporary Mathematics. Section is ONL. Instructor. Okay, On this is really important. The students are going to enroll from the learning management system, which is Canvas. So we want them to enroll from the LMS. Then we want to do Summer 1, 2025. Now, the next thing is the start and end dates. So typically on the start date, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and give them access to start on May the 1st, which is sooner than the start of the term. However, the reason why I'm giving them earlier access is because I want them to be able to go ahead and get access to the textbook. And there's just difficulty with getting this textbook, and so I want them to go ahead and get that. So I'll tell you more about that textbook. But I'm going to go ahead and our term does not start until May the 26th. But I've already got students that are registering, and so I want them to go ahead and be able to get access. So I'm going to go ahead and give them early access. Then the end date is July the 26th. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it till July the 31st. Now, the class meets on this part, we are not going to specify any days which the class meets because our class doesn't meet any particular days of the week. So I'm not going to choose any timings or any days in which the class meets. All right, then our textbook is already chosen. We want them to have all of the different things that are available. Enable personal study plan. I certify that this is the adopted textbook. I typically keep all of these assignment and section options. I keep all of that the same, and then I go ahead and click Create Course. Oh, well, now it's telling me that I have to type a start time for the class, an end time for the class, and the days. Okay, so let's go back and do start time, end time. So let me figure that part out. Okay, I've gone in and I have set that the class meets on Saturday. And the reason why I set it on Saturday is that because all of the assignments are due on Saturday, so I just picked a time, 8 to 9 a.m. just to have a time on there. And then I chose Saturday. And so this class mapping just says that everything would be due on Saturday. So we're just going to set this in here, and if we need to adjust it, we can adjust it later. So hopefully all of this will be just fine, and let's go ahead and click Create Course now. Once you have created your course and got all of those initial settings, it will create everything and copy all of the assignments, and you'll end up with this assignment screen. And so what it has done is it's created all of these assignments and it's placed it into the schedule. And so here we have all of the scheduled assignments. Now, it has placed the weeks in here, and it's got more weeks than we normally have. So if you look here, you're going to see that this has got, like, even though I'm working on a summer schedule which only has like 8 or 9 weeks, it's got this scheduled out to be like 14 weeks. And that is because The assignments, if you look for week 1, there are no assignments scheduled for week 1 or week 2 or week 3, week 4, and the assignments don't start until week 5. And the reason why I have that is because of this first assignment. So the way I have it set up is that I gave the students access to the class early. I gave them access in order to get the textbook early. So they have access all the way up in this week 1. They can access the course. And I'm actually giving them access to do this first assignment. They can actually, this assignment is available to them to start as early as May the 1st. So if they want to go ahead and do this assignment early, I'm going to let them do that, because this is actually just getting in and starting with the actual computer program. And so if they want to go ahead and do that in order to access the textbook, I am more than happy for them to go ahead and do that, because that is actually the easiest way for them to purchase the textbook. And so, so that's why I go ahead and let them have that available to them. And so it's not due until May the 31st, which is the first due date. And so, but I let them go ahead and have access. That's the only one they have access to ahead of time. So that is why they have all of these blank weeks ahead of time. Now, once you get all of these assignments that are here, let's just say that you need to move some assignments around. You know, if you have a need to be able to move an assignment to another week, it's actually very easy to move assignments. You can actually just take and move. All you have to do is click on these little dots, and then you will move it to another week. So let's just say I wanted to move 1.1 in from week 5 to week 6. You just click on those little dots and then you move it to week 6. So then now, instead of being due May 31st, it's going to be due on June the 7th. And then all you would have to do is hit schedule. And it's going to change the due dates. It will also change the dates in Canvas as well. So it's really a seamless process with that. You shouldn't have to change those dates, but if there is an emergency of some sort and you need to, that is how you change those dates. But you have to do it within WebAssign, and so you have to log into WebAssign, and this is how you would do that to change those due dates. Okay, so that is everything in WebAssign. Now you are going to have to add these assignments in Canvas. So I'm going to show you how to do that in Canvas. Okay, here we are in your Canvas shell, and you are going to want to go into your modules, and you're going to want to go to week 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in your assignments for week 1. So here we are for week 1 in your modules. What we want to do is we want to go into this plus right here. So we want to add an item, and with that, what we want to do is we want to add in this external tool. Okay, so we want to add in an external tool. On the external tool, you have lots of different options, and it gets a little confusing because you have several different options here for Cengage Learning, And then you have like two different Cengage learnings, and then you have a Cengage. So we want the one that just says Cengage, and then you want to click Add Item. So we want to click on that Cengage. So on the Cengage, we have it should pop up the nature of mathematics, and you want to tell it to select the content. So now we want to do all of the items for week 1, which is this getting started with WebAssign and the 1.1 homework. So we're going to get those two. And so we want to scroll down and we want to click continue. And so then we want to add those items to week 1. And so here you'll see where those two items were added to week 1. So what this does is that it adds those items to week 1, and so the students will automatically be able to come in here and click on these items, and it will take them directly to the Cengage website, and they'll be able to complete those items from Cengage and WebAssign. And that's what we want, and it's automatically integrated with the grade book that is in Canvas as well. So everything is integrated. So that should be everything that you need to know, and you're going to do that for every week. You'll go in and you'll just map whatever assignments there are for that week. You'll just add them. You'll add them to that module, and if you need to move them around, like if you need to, you can move them around in Canvas very easily to a different section just by clicking on these little dots, and so everything works seamless. So hopefully that is everything that you'll need to know about getting all of the assignments in. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or to reach out to the distance office. Thanks so much.